We are ready to start. Hello and welcome, dear colleagues. It's great to see 30 of you and your names spring up and some of the faces, and it's a joy to see you all. I hope everybody of you is keeping well, your families are keeping well. Today we have a topic that has not been explored by even the best of the Moodle users. Moodle Gradebook. We'll be talking about Moodle Gradebook. So far, I think this is the fourth webinar in the module number 1, in which we started with Moodle Basics. And we have done video conferencing tools, instructional tasks in Moodle, and as the final Moodle webinar and some sort of a practical session, we have the Moodle Gradebook. Shakir will explain a lot more about it. Just to say that Moodle Gradebook will help you keep all your assessment data in one place. But what does happen is that you will still have to export your data on. It doesn't export. You will have to, I think, manually. And Shakir will explain that if it is to be done manually, or can you export your final grading data onto Empower? I think that's a question I have in my mind. Great, and I'll over to Suleiman before I proceed further to tell us about the netiquette. Please, Suleiman.
Good afternoon, everyone. There are a few important things to mention before we start this webinar. You all are requested to mention your full name in your Zoom profile. It will then be easy for us to identify you because we have to issue the certificates. In case your internet connection is not good, please keep your video turned off. And in order to avoid any sort of distortion during the session, we will keep you all mute. But if you have a question to ask, do mention it in the chat and we will answer your questions. We are also recording this session and it will be uploaded on YouTube. Thank you.
You can see the agenda, Suleiman, agenda laga dijiye. The agenda is like we sent it out before that you're going to learn about grading different categories of assessment, adding grades to the gradebook, assigning and editing weightages of grading categories. That's a big one. And extracting gradebook reports for uploading grades. So you are going to extract and export your grades onto Empower. There, you know, that's right there. 93 participants, 93 of you registered, 82 of which were university faculty and the rest are college faculty or some from outside FCC as well. We sent out to all of you, especially the college university faculty, 82 of you, preparation forms. And the preparation form is basically to give you any prior reading material to that webinar if required. In this case, we did not, because this was a new session in which most of you haven't had much experience. But we did ask you if you wanted any more to know about, apart from our agenda, what did you expect to know? 38 of you responded, thank you. That really helps us tailor make our webinars to your requirements. And you have put a high priority on this topic and of transferring grades. Many of you have asked that if grades are from outside Moodle, how do you transfer them to the Moodle gradebook? You have also, again, given a high priority to assigning and editing weightages, and of course, grading categories for different types of assessment, which is our agenda number 1. And it seems that we are right on target with what you also place a high priority on. I would like to now invite Shakir. By now he's a household word with all of us, I think. He has been working with CLT since 2014 to customize Moodle, and he's the expert. He has worked through all the intricacies, and he's very, very, contributes very meaningfully to CLT and of course to the rest of the campus. So Shakir, over to you.
Thank you, Ma'am Rukhsana. Thank you for such a lovely introduction. Today I'm going to be presenting a training session on how to use Gradebook. So I'm first of all going to share my screen with you. Can everyone view the screen? Can everyone view my screen now?
Yes, yes.
Thank you very much. So the goal for today's training is to make grading process easy and effective by using Moodle Gradebook as a tool. I know myself that using the Moodle Gradebook as a beginner user, it is a difficult task to master. But once you master it, I can assure you that you're never going to leave Moodle Gradebook. It is such an effective tool. So today my goal will be to actually guide you through a process by which at the end of this session you will feel very comfortable with Moodle Gradebook, and you will find it very easy and very effective tool while you're actually grading your courses. So today, ma'am, Rukhsana has already covered the agenda for the today's session, but I have prepared an agenda which according to the specific activities that I will be doing. So after each item, I will be taking a break, and you will be you're more than welcome to ask me question. So you can drop your questions in the chat, and we will answer it, as Suleiman has already covered that. So the first thing that I'm going to show you about the Gradebook is how do you create the grading categories. So right now we are in this course. The course name is Gradebook Training. So when you're in the course, you need to go in your grades. This is the first step. So once you reach the screen, you can see your class and you can see that it's entirely blank. This is because I haven't conducted any assessments. I haven't actually set up my gradebook yet. So that is why this section is totally blank. I will be showing you this section when once it gets populated, and how do you actually view this entire section. So let's go to the setup. Under the grader report, right next to view, there is a button of setup. Just click on it. So once you click on the setup, you're redirected to this new page. This page right now only shows two things. Number one, the name of the entire course and the course total. Because we haven't created any category or added any grading item, so it is blank. So I'm just going to add my first category. So I'm going to name it quizzes. You can leave all the other sections the way it is. It will automatically get adjusted. So we don't need to worry about that. Okay. So you just need to ensure that you select this option, weight adjusted. So now you can simply save and your first category is created. So there we are. We have the category of quizzes. In a similar way, I'm going to create category of assignments. There, save changes. And then I'm going to create another category. I'm going to call it forums. There we are. And then I'm going to add my final category that I'm going to call exams. Okay, so these are my categories over here now. Okay, you can notice that everything right now under the weights column, maximum grade is 0. Because I haven't added any grading items, I haven't conducted any assessment. So the first thing that I'm going to do and I'm going to show you today is how do you add the grading items into the categories. You can see that there is an option of adding a grade item over here. I'm not going to do that, and I would not recommend you to add a grade item from here because it is going to make the process more complicated. Rather than that, I would simply, once I start creating my activities, I would add these activities into these categories. So for example, in the first week, I will add a quiz. For that, first I will turn the editing on. So once I turn the editing on, I will start getting this option of add an activity or resource. By now, I think all of you should be comfortable. How do you add a quiz? But while adding a quiz, I'm going to show you that how do you actually categorize your quiz under a particular grading category. So if I click on add an activity or a quiz, the first list is of activities, and under the activities, I can find quiz over here. I'm simply going to click on my quiz and add it. And I'm going to name it quiz 1. As this webinar basically focuses on the grading, so I'm not going to go through all the option of how to create a quiz. I'm simply going to go to the grade, and I'm going to show you the most important part of creating a grade book. See, under the grade, you can see that there is a option of selecting a grade category. So the categories that I created in the grade book now have started appearing over here. If I wouldn't have created those categories, it would have simply shown me the option of uncategorized and nothing else. But because I have created those categories in my gradebook, now I can access those categories. So I'm just going to select quizzes. So once I'm done with it, I can save and return to my course. So I have created a quiz, and let's see how my gradebook looks now. Once I reach here, I'm going to click on setup. And you can see that the quiz that I just created has started appearing over here. Okay. So there we are. So it is already placed here. So now I'm going to show you a scenario just in case if you create a quiz and you forget to add the quiz into a category, then what to do. So we are going to create another quiz by going back to our course. There we go. There we are. We are going to add the second quiz, and this time I'm not going to categorize the quiz. So this is my quiz 2. And this time I'm going to leave it as uncategorized. And I'm going to save and return to the course again. And I'll go back to my setup. See, the quiz 2 is not appearing under this category. It is appearing outside the category. Now, if I keep on working on my grade book and I keep on doing my assessment, this quiz 2 is going to create a lot of problems for me. So I need to actually move it into the category of quizzes after I have created the quiz 2. For that, I will simply click on this arrow that says move. And then I come to this new page over here. So these boxes over here basically represent the slots where I can actually move my quiz to. So I want to move my quiz to under the category of quizzes and beneath quiz 1. So I'm just going to click here. And there we are. We have created the 2 categories, quiz 1 and grading items, quiz 1 and quiz 2 under the category quizzes. Now in the similar way, we are going to create forums, and we are also going to create an exam. So in the week 2, I'm going to create a forum activity. There we are. I'm going to select forum. Then I'm going to add it. I'm just going to say course forum. Okay. Because I'm going to grade this forum and the participation of students on this forum, I would make it into a forced subscription rather than optional subscription. And then under the grade, I will place my forum under forums. And then the next important thing is to set up the ratings, because the ratings are actually going to derive the grade for the students. So the first option is the aggregate type. How do I want my ratings to be scored? So the option that I'm going to select for this demo is average of ratings, meaning that whatever ratings they're going to get in various discussions, Moodle is going to take an average of all those ratings and then compute the scores. Or the other things that I can do is count of ratings as well, getting the maximum rating as well, minimum rating, sum of all the ratings. So for now, I'm just going to get the average of ratings. Okay, so this is another very important point when we actually start looking at the maximum grade in terms of rating the forums. Remember, do not leave this to 100, and I will tell you why. Because if you leave this to 100, what will happen that once you're going to rate the forum and you're going to click on a drop down while rating the forum, and I will be showing you that afterwards as well. Moodle is going to give you the huge list of 100 figures starting from 1 right till 100. So normally the ratings are from 1 to 5, so I'm just going to leave it to 5. So this is going to be the maximum rating starting from 1 to going to 5. Okay, and then I'm simply going to save and return to the course. Okay, so now I'm going to add an exam. Sorry, I'm going to, yes, I will be adding an exam. So if you have to add an exam, you simply need to click on a quiz and add, and in the same way you can actually create an exam by adding a quiz. But one of the important things that I received as a feedback from for this session before we begin was that actually, what if we actually grade an item outside Moodle, and then we have to import that grade into Moodle. So let us hypothetically think that you have conducted the exam outside Moodle, and now you want to import the grades. So we're going to take this hypothetical example, and then we are going to actually going to show you how do you actually import your grades into the gradebook if you have conducted an activity outside Moodle. So simply go to the grades. And then go to the setup. Once you're in the setup, you can see your category of exams over here. So I'm just going to add a grading item under the category exams. So if I have to import my grades for a certain item into my gradebook, the best thing is to create the add a grading item. So I'm just going to call it final exams. I'm going to leave the maximum grade to 100. And then I'm going to move it under exams. And then I'm going to save the changes. So now you can see the exams have been entered over here. So the exam grading item does exist under the exams. Now we have to enter the scores of the final exams into this grading item. How we do that? First of all, we need to go to this export. Right under the gradebook setup, there are options, and the last option is export. So first we go there. The reason I'm going to the export is we need to format, we need to get a format where we can actually add the scores and then we can actually upload it into Moodle. So in the export, what I actually need is only the final exam, because this is something that we are going to be uploading into Moodle. So in my export, I only need exam. If I go to the export format options, I can just leave it that way. I don't need to actually do anything over here. But I need to actually select plain text file for that. So make sure that you're on a plain text file when you're actually exporting this sheet. So once you're in the plain text file, I will simply quickly do that and make this change. Here we are. And now I'm going to download this file. So once I have downloaded the file and I open it, you can see this column over here. The G column actually shows the final exams. So I'm going to score these exams now. So let's say out of 100, Shakir Gill got 80, Suleiman Khairullah got 90, and Raheel got 95. So these are the scores. So I'm simply going to save this file. Into Moodle. So I'm going to click on import. Because we selected the option of plain text file, so we have to make sure that CSV file is selected over here. Okay. So I'm going to click on choose the file. And then I'm going to select my file from here. So this was my file. I'm going to select that. I'm going to upload this file. All the other settings can remain the same. And then you can simply upload it. It will show you that what data is going to be uploaded now, because Moodle has been successfully been able to read my file. So it is showing a preview that what is going to get uploaded. Okay. So the next important thing is, how do you want the Moodle to identify your users from that file? So I would select map from email address and map to email address. Why I'm selecting this? Because on Moodle, only one user can have one email address. One email address cannot be assigned to multiple users. So while mapping this, you can never make a mistake. So this is the best way to map while you're uploading your grades into your Moodle gradebook. Okay. And the next thing is final. So these are my scores that I want to upload, final exams. So I want to upload final exams into the grade item, final exams. So I'm simply going to select that and I'm going to upload the grades. And now it is showing that grade import was successful. Now let us go into the gradebook and see and view what is the implication of this. So here are the quizzes. These are blank right now because the assessment hasn't been done. But now I have successfully been able to add my grades for the final exams into the gradebook. So now these are existing over here. Okay. So this was all we have already covered, the quizzes, the assignments, quizzes, forums, and the final exam. Now we are going to cover the assignment as well.
Shakir, just for a second, please.
Yes.
Khalid Javed and Nosheen said that they could not see when you opened the plain text file, they could not see that. Does that appear, the plain text file appear on the screen, or does it just say file opened and imported into Moodle? How does that happen, that step?
I'm going to go back and show you. Okay. So simply
Please
go to
do.
the
Please do.
Yeah. If you go to the export, you select the option of plain text file. Okay. So once I have selected this option,
and also Faiza asked if there's if there was an Excel sheet file, what happened then?
With the Excel sheet file, you can actually have format issues as well. Basically, actually, there are four options, four methodologies for this. The one that I've selected for this session was the best methodology that I thought would be easier for the faculty to follow. So for now, I would recommend Faiza to actually look at this methodology. It is as simple as using the Excel spreadsheet, the plain text file. The format is the same. The only difference is the backend coding, which you don't need to worry about. So I would say to actually go about this for now, because this would be much easier methodology. So as you can see, I have selected my plain text file. I've selected my grade item, and I'm simply going to download this now. About the format now. See, once I open this downloaded file, this is a plain text file that has opened into an Excel file. So this is my plain text file. So it is actually going to open into Excel.
Yeah, but so it appears, it seems it appears for a very short while on the screen because it gets imported, but it opens and we could see a very, for a second, we could see a file on the side, but that's it. That's all you see, right?
Okay. Yes, yes. And in this file that now you can make the changes. You can actually edit the grades, because the grades are already appearing because I've already uploaded. So when it is exporting, it is showing me the grades. But before that, it was totally blank. So you can add your grades over here and then simply import the file back into Moodle, and it will show you the grades. So
can you, Shakir, can you open the plain text file into another window so that people can see what it looks like? Faculty are asking for it.
Sorry, I got it. So you're basically not able to see that. Yeah.
No,
because of
no.
Zoom sharing. Yes.
Yeah.
So this is it. Sorry.
Okay.
Can everyone?
Yeah. Now we can see the Excel. Yes.
Sorry.
So this is what opens up, and this is how it gets as a plain text file, right? Why is it called plain text when it's Excel sheet, spreadsheet?
It's basically the coding
okay.
So I don't want to go into that explanation because it's going to get very technical.
Yeah, I understand. I think it's the coding that goes at the back end. That's why it calls a plain text. I understand that HTML stuff. Okay, thank you. Yeah.
So before it was appearing totally blank because I hadn't graded it, but because I have graded it, now it's showing the numbers. So normally it will appear blank before you have actually graded the students. So you can actually simply add the grades over here and then import the same file into Moodle. Sorry, I didn't actually check that before, that my screen was not shared. I'm sorry about that. Okay, so are we back on Moodle? Can everyone see that?
Yes, yes.
Yes, okay. So now let's go and view the gradebook. So our gradebook is now actually showing the scores that I have uploaded for all the 3 students. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how do you actually create an assignment and add it into the grading category. But there is another thing into it, so that is why I kept it for the last. I'm actually going to show you how you can actually also add a rubric into the assignments. So when you click on add an activity or a resource, the first item is assignment. I'm going to just name it assignment 1. I'm simply going to go to the grade. And in the grading method, under grading method, you can see that there is a grading category. I'm going to put it under assignments, and the grading method actually gives me these 3 options. Today, I'm going to show you how actually you basically create a rubric. So I'm going to do this through rubric as well. So once I select rubric and save and return to the course. So I'm back. I've created my assignment and I am back into my course page. But you must be wondering, where is the rubric? So basically, in order to create a rubric, you would need to access the assignment activity that you have already created. So basically, I have created this assignment 1. So in order to create a rubric into it, I will click on assignment 1 over here. And then there is a cog on the right side of the assignment 1. I'll click on it, scroll down a little bit, and it will allow me to define the rubric here. So now I'm going to define a rubric very quickly for you guys. And I believe rubric is an excellent way to actually assess on Moodle. I personally found it to be very useful. So I'm just going to leave this rubric as rubric. And the next step is to actually add the criteria here. So we go by adding one criterion at a time. So in order to do that, I'm simply going to click on my criterion over here. I already have a list, a sample list. So I'm just going to use that sample list for this. So my first criterion is focus and details. And I'm going to add the definition of these criterion or levels of this criterion. There we are. After I've added 3 levels, sorry, I haven't added the 3rd level, sorry about that. So I'm just going to add the 3rd level. So there we are, I've added the 3rd level. After I've added 3rd level, I have another level to add, but I don't have the provision of doing that. To get that provision, simply click on this button, add level. So as soon as I click it, now I can add another level into it. So there we are. So I have added another level. Okay. And for each level, I have also set points. So basically, for focus and details, my level that has 0 points says that the topic and main ideas are not clear. And then there are other levels as well. And the final level, the best level is, there is one clear, well-focused topic, main ideas are clear and are well supported by detailed and accurate information. So my first criterion is ready. So now I'm going to add another criterion, and I'm just going to add 2 criteria, not more than that. So I'm just going to add sentence structure, grammar. There we are. So there we are. So I have entered the 4 levels. Now I can simply save and make it ready for use. So I have successfully created my rubric over here. So when I'm going to grade my students, I'm going to grade them according to the rubric. Okay, I have another view of the course. I have actually prepared an entire course with all the assessments done, which I will be showing you shortly. But before we go there, I want to revisit the gradebook and show you how do you actually edit your weightages. So I'm going to go to the grades. Then I will go to the setup of the gradebook. And under the setup, I can see that my categories are not weighted at all. So I'm going to weight my categories now. So let us say for my quizzes, I want it to be 20%. For my assignments, I want this to be 20% again. Forums, I want 10%. And the final exams or exams category, I want 50%. So there we are. And for the final exams, you can see under the final exams, the weightage for the final exam under the exams category is 0. This is because I have uploaded and never created this activity. So I can simply select it into 100. When I select 100, it means that it is the 100% weightage of the exam category, not the overall course. So because it is placed under the exams category, so by saying 100%, I mean that the weightage of 50 under the exams category will entirely come from this final exams grading item activity. So that is why I have selected into 100%. Because I created one forum, so the entire forum is going to take up the weightage of 10%. So that is why it says 100 over here. Similar is the case with the assignment. Similar is the case with assignment, because it was one assignment, it's 100% for this 20% weightage. But for the quizzes, you can see the total weightage was 20. So it automatically divided the weightage 50% and 50% for the category of quizzes. So this is how you basically set up your grade book. So right now, what I have shown you is that you have started from a 0 up position, and you have actually been able to create your grade book and assign weightages to it. So do we have any questions at this point? And then I will proceed further with the entire assessment.
Yes, Shakir, there are some questions from your previous talk. It was not about weightages. I think there'll be some questions about weightages. I would like a bit more clarity, but I'll wait for people to. But there was a question from Farheen. Can we hide the grade for a certain time? But that was for the individual quizzes or individual assignments. So she just wondered if it's possible to hide the grades up to a certain time frame. And then there are some more. If you respond to that, I'll move on to others.
Okay, just a second. I believe you can.
That's a good question.
Yes. Farheen, would it be possible if I can actually answer this later on during the session, because I'm going to go through this section called course grade settings, where I can show you how to hide as well. So I will be actually going through that anyways. So can you wait until?
Absolutely, I think that makes immense sense.
Yes.
There's another question from, I think, Rabia. Can a table in Word document instead of Excel sheet work as a document Word text file that you uploaded?
No.
That was in Excel sheet, but as a Word text file. So she's asking if there could be a table in a Word document rather than that sheet. That will work as well?
No, that will not work because it only gives you 4 formats and it does not
Okay.
include document.
Okay.
So
Okay.
Moodle is not document.
Okay, so it does not take a Word document, table in a Word document. That's what you're saying.
Yes.
Okay, understood. Now there was a very interesting question from Jalil, and he is a bit using CSV, is comma separated value. And his question is, does it have to be an Excel sheet to save as CSV? And so did we talk about a comma separated value at some point? Or did I
Yes.
miss that?
The plain text file is a comma separated file. It is one and the same thing. The names are only different. So it's one and the same thing.
Jalil? Okay. Okay. So that means, Jalil, do not use terminology that makes it difficult. Yes, there is another one that one has to, can we delete a grade? That's Elizabeth. A good question.
Yes, you can delete it.
Yeah.
Okay. So if I'm going to delete that one now, so this is the grade item. Sorry. If this is the grade item quiz one that I need to delete. And just a second.
Okay.
I should be able to delete that.
Yeah, edit. If you go into edit, probably.
No, it is not going to delete it from there. Hide the calculation. Okay. So basically, I thought that it would be deleted. I don't know what. Okay, so basically the grading item that I've uploaded, I can delete that grading item. But see, from here I cannot delete this quiz one activity because this is a quiz that I have created. So if I have to delete this, I would need to delete the quiz one. So alternatively, if I do not want to delete the quiz one, but I do not want this to be included in my grading calculation. So I could set it up on 0, the weightage. So sorry.
No, I think I'll ask, do it what you're doing, and then I'll ask Elizabeth if that satisfies her question.
Okay, that's fine. So this is one way of tackling with this situation. The other thing is, if you really want to delete this quiz, so let's go to the course, and I'm going to delete my quiz. See, if I delete the quiz one, now it is deleted.
Okay.
And if
somehow
I go to
Elizabeth thought she ran into problems when she tried to delete items. So
okay. So here you can see that it already has started saying that the deletion is in the process. So I have been able to delete it, but if I want to save it from not actually being a part of my calculation, I can simply change the weightages.
Okay.
Okay. Does this answer your question, ma'am?
Elizabeth, are you okay with this?
Sorry. Yeah, so what I found is that when I try to rerun grading, for example, if I change a question after the grade has already been run, yes. Or if I do this and it says deletion in progress indefinitely, like I just go back and it continuously is saying deletion in process, but it never actually goes away.
Oh, interesting.
So I can look into that for you, then why it happened. So if you can tell me the course, if you can send a separate email with the course and the quiz that you were trying to delete, I can look into it.
Thank you very much.
Great.
But
that's
the strategy that I've shown right now, that can also help you to actually make sure that your certain items are not included in the final grade. So one that I've done right now will also not be a part of your calculation of the final grade.
Okay? Yeah. But your screen is also saying deletion in progress. And so that's what I see on your screen. deletion process is going on, and it is like going on. Some grades are about to be removed, but it hasn't shown that it has been done. So I guess there is that lag over there. There's a question by Seemal Jalani, and she wants to know, and I am a bit confused, how many depths of categories and subcategories can I create? And Seemal, is it what you want to know about the gradebook categories or quiz categories?
No, it's the gradebook categories, because we have a lot of other activities also. So if I want to grade them and to add to gradebook, so what's the limit?
But okay, you want to see how many categories can you add to the gradebook, or categories that are not in the Moodle frame, because Moodle has certain activities and perhaps you want to add something that's not there. Is that so?
Yes.
They're two different questions then. Okay, Shakir, over to you. I think one is to import, like you just did, import data, but I would like you to explain. And the other is going through the how many categories you can create for the gradebook.
First of all, ma'am, Seemal, you can create as many categories as you want to create. And similar is the case with subcategories as well. So for example, I need to create this another category. So I'm just adding a new category. So let us say final exams. So under the exams, I'm creating another category, that is final exams. Okay. So I'm changing the parent category now, and I'm putting it under exams. So this is it.
Okay.
So you can see that under the exams category, I have created final exams, and this is my grading item. So I'm going to move my final exam grade item under the category final exams. So there we are.
Good.
So you can see that I can create subcategory as well. And if I have to create more categories, more than 4, you can create. That's not a problem. You can simply keep on creating more categories. There is no limit.
And what is the difference between category and grade item then?
Category is basically your overall category. Like this is the quizzes over here.
I understand.
And the grade item are the quizzes within that category. So the quizzes is one category. It can have grade items like 5 quizzes in it. These individual quizzes are basically the grade items.
So what you call subcategories, what she was saying, subcategories. So the actual term is, The
subcategories again would be the category. It is not the grading item. So final exams the exams over here is the parent category. Final exam is the category under the exams, and the final exams, this one is basically your grading item under the final exams.
Okay. So if you do not create a grading, that does not become a grading category. Is that so? Because there's one quiz that you did not grade for. So it's a 0 that you said you just can place it as a 0. So that would not be counted as a grade category then. Is that so?
See, when we are creating the grading categories, we can create as many grading items as there can be in the grade book within the grading categories. But for the students, unless they are not assessed, the marks are going to appear as blanks. So that doesn't matter. So the one that you're saying that I have turned into 0, it will appear under the grade book. We are viewing the grade book right now, but it will not have any impact on the calculation.
Okay.
That is why I put it 0 for the weightage.
Okay.
Any more questions?
But why does it say maximum grade 10? Yeah,
because
Shakir, but when you look at the grade book, why is it saying maximum grade when there is no grade?
Because this is actually showing the total marks. That's the maximum grade that any student can attain within this grading item. So 10 is the maximum.
Okay.
These are total marks. You can say this is total marks.
Okay. but they will not show in the big picture irrespective. They are not graded as such. I understand. Okay, this is ungraded activity. Okay.
Right now, what I have shown is basically how do you create that. I haven't shown the implication. So I have a separate course that I prepared just for the implication that I'm going to show next. So if you're done with the questions, I will show the implication of the entire gradebook as well. Yes.
Sylvia Machado has asked, what do students see? Does it look like from the student size? And Rabia says, what if I give 3 quizzes, but the one with the highest grade will be included in the final grade book? So that's a tricky one. Can you select that to happen in the grade book?
So for the 3 students, so if, for example, you're saying there are 3 quizzes that we have created. So out of these 3 quizzes, Moodle gradebook should pick up quiz 1, quiz 2, quiz 3, any of the 1 quizzes in which the student has scored the maximum grade. So it can be quiz 1, it can be quiz 2, and it can be quiz 3 for any particular student. And for the next subsequent student, it can be quiz 2, and after that it can be quiz 1.
Absolutely.
I'm sorry, I don't know that. Sorry.
Rabia, that's a very good. Farheen is saying that is not possible in Moodle. I tried. Interesting. So, yeah.
I can look into it.
Yeah, please do. Let's keep that as a question to be resolved later as an FOQ. It's a very powerful one. And what about the face that students see in the gradebook?
I'm going to show that while we are doing the implication of the gradebook setup, which is
thank you. Okay, thank you, Shakir. Over to you to move on, please.
Thank you, ma'am. Okay, so I have prepared a course for all of you to see the implications. So this is my demo course where all the assessments are already done. So this will actually give you a lot of clarity. Let's go to the grade and start viewing the report as well. So you can see that there are 3 students over here, Shakir, Suleiman Khairullah, and Rahil Robson. Okay, so these are the 3 quizzes, and these have been scored. And now I can see that the quiz totals are given over here. So Shakir Gil has scored 20, Suleiman has scored 30, and Rahil has scored 15 out of it. Similar is the case with the assignments. These are marked out of 100. I have left this assignment for Suleiman on purpose, and I'm going to show you why. And then these are exams, final exam and midterm exams. These have already been graded. And these are the discussion on course topics over here. So this is the forum totals. How much a particular student has scored in forum. Again, I have left Suleiman Khairullah. I'm going to show you how to actually grade them. So that is why I actually have left this particular section. So let us view the gradebook setup. And now I'm also going to show you how do you change the weightages when you've already graded your students. So there we are. So this is my entire gradebook over here. So let's start with the first category. The quizzes, I have given the weightage 20% as of the overall grade. And then these quizzes are equally distributed. So 33.33%, 33.33% is the weightage within this quizzes category for each grade item. For the assignment, they're 20%. So 50% for assignment 1 and 50% for the assignment 2 within the category of assignments. And similar is the case with exams and then the forums as well. So I have actually defined my weightages. Now let us suppose, let us consider a scenario where I want this quiz, my third quiz, which is quiz usage of gradebook at FCC. I want this to actually have the weightage twice as much as the weightage of the above 2 quizzes. So twice as much would mean that I want to give it 50%, and then I want to give 25% to the above two. So I can simply change it this way and then save the changes. And accordingly, the entire assessment is also going to change. Similar is the case with assignments. For example, I want, now let us consider another example, that out of the weightage of 20%, 15% should be assigned to assignment 1 and 15% to the assignment 2. Now I am in a difficulty right now, because I want to assign 15% to this and then 5% to this to make the total of 20. Now the problem is, as you can see, even under my quizzes, under this category of quizzes, if I add all these three items, that equates to 100%. So now how do I create a kind of a weightage that adds up to 100%? Well, you don't need to do any calculations for that. Moodle, what it does, and that's a good thing about Moodle, it actually adjusts the weights relatively. And I'm going to show you how. Now, I'm not going to actually make sure that these going to add up to 100%. I'm going to add these up to 20%. So I have selected 5 and 15 over here, and you're going to see that the percentages are going to change after I save it. Can you see this? It automatically, relatively, actually adjusted this. Now, what does the assignment 1 means? Assignment 1 shows that it's a 25% of assignments, but the overall weightage is actually 5%. And assignment 2 also shows that it is 75, but the overall weightage is actually 15% out of 20%. And this is 5% out of 20%. So it actually adjusts relatively. So you don't need to do all these calculations and get worried about, whether your calculations are right or not, because it relatively adjusts itself. There is an algorithm that is prepared at the back end that does it for you. Similar is the case with the midterm. Now I want to say that my total exam weightage is 50%. I want my midterms to be 20% and my final to be 30% of the overall grade. So I'm just going to write 20 and 30% for these, and then I'm going to simply save the changes. Now what it has done is, it simply calculated on its own that it is going to be 60% of the 50%, and it's going to be 40% of the 50% over here. So that is how I can actually make the changes to my weightages. So now I'm going to cover two things that I have left in this assessment, so that I can actually show you how you can actually do these things. So the first thing is, I left an assignment to be graded for Suleiman Khairullah. That was assignment 1. Sorry. The first thing is that Suleiman has to submit the assignment. Sorry about that. So I'm just going to shift my role to Suleiman Khairullah's role. So first, Suleiman is going to submit the assignment. So now I am logged in as Suleiman Khairullah. If I go to my assignment and I click on assignment 1, I'm right now I'm a student, I'm Suleiman. The best thing about Moodle is, the first thing that I see is the grading criteria. So I as a student, while submitting the assignment, would know that what is the criteria that my instructor is going to evaluate me on. So I can view the entire rubric over here. And then if I scroll down, as a student, I will add a submission. I will just put some text over here and then save the changes. So this is the assignment that I have saved. So now I'm going to log back in as an instructor. And I'm going to grade Suleiman. So I can see, I can click on the grade over here, and I reach this window where I can read the text that the Suleiman has submitted. That was a text for the assignment. And then accordingly, I can grade. So in order to grade, I can see that in terms of focus and details, Suleiman actually fulfills the third level. That is, there is one clear, well-focused topic, main ideas are clear, but are not well supported by detailed information. So I'm going to select that. And under the feedback, if I want to provide any feedback, I can. But right now, I'm going to just write test feedback. So that's the next criterion that says sentence structure and spelling. So for fourth level, and then I can simply save the changes. So Suleiman has been graded. Now you must be wondering how many marks did Suleiman get, because I only selected this, selected the options from my rubric. So in order to view that, I will go back to my gradebook.
Shakir,
Yes.
yeah, your voice is breaking up. Could you explain, that you only picked up the criterion
Yes, the only
that you think he fulfilled?
Yes, exactly. That's what I said. I just picked up the criterion. I didn't do anything else. So I evaluated on the criterion individually. So when I picked it up, it automatically calculated the scores for Suleiman Khairullah.
Sorry.
So going to show that automatically calculated scores. Could you hear me now? Hello? Can anyone hear me?
Shakir, your voice is breaking up a lot.
Okay, sorry, ma'am. Let me check. Is it working now?
Yeah, it comes on and off. So yes, now it is better.
Okay. So basically what I have done is I have only graded according to the criterion. So I just selected how well Suleiman did on each criterion, and Moodle calculated the scores for me automatically. So I'm just going to show how the scores were calculated. So for Suleiman, you can see Moodle, according to the criterion, has given the marks out of 100, that is 83.33. So according to the criterion, it itself actually created those marks. There we are. Okay. So the next thing that I want to show you is how do you actually grade the forums. Can you hear me fine now, or is the voice still breaking?
It's better than before, but there is a question. There are two questions actually from assignment.
Yes. Hello.
The question from Zubair, just two questions. Zubair wants to know, how do you give bonus marks to students that if you want to give bonus marks to students, how do you do that? But the other question by Waqar is very interesting at this time in the assignment section. He asked, can I grade an essay in MS Word file in Moodle without downloading the file? And I didn't understand that. What do you mean without downloading the file? The file would have to be in Moodle to be able to grade it if it's a Word file. Waqar, have you understood the question, Shakir?
Yes, ma'am, I have understood the question.
Yes. So basically, if a student emails me an assignment, I have to download the attachment. That takes a lot of time to, download it and read it for each student. But if the assignments are uploaded by the student in Moodle, and I don't have to, download the assignment every time, but I can read the file in the Moodle window itself and grade it there and then, that will save a lot of time.
Okay.
Possible.
Yeah, Dr. Waqar, actually, it depends how you have allowed your students to submit the assignments. So there are two methodologies of submitting the assignment to Moodle. The first methodology is the traditional one that you're talking about. If the students upload their assignments, if you actually go through that methodology, you would need to download the assignments. Unless you don't download the assignment, you cannot view the document. But there is another methodology, and I think that would work for you. And I'm going to show you that methodology. Can you view my screen at the moment?
Yes.
Okay. So I'm just going to create one assignment very quickly, and I'm going to show you that methodology, Dr. Waqar. So you just want to view it on Moodle. Assignment test. So once I get to this, can you see the submission types, Dr. Waqar?
Yes, we can see the submission, yeah.
So basically right now you can see I have only allowed, or by default Moodle has selected file submissions. So if this option is selected, then you would need to download the files because the files have been submitted. But if you check online text and uncheck this and then enable the word count, for example, 500. Well, this is not mandatory actually. I just selected that, but word limit is not mandatory. But if you create the assignment with these options, online text, then the only thing the student can do is submit into a text box and you will view it into the text box. See the assignment that I created for Suleiman, and Suleiman submitted that assignment. That was in the form of text box. I'm going to show you that. So I selected an online submission. I did not select a file submission. So if I go to Suleiman while I'm grading him, can you see this? This is a text box. So I don't have to download that. Had it been a file, the file would have been shown here and I would need to click on the file and it will download onto my PC. So for that, you need to select online submission text. If you select this option, then you don't need to worry.
Perfect, perfect.
More questions?
No, not yet, except about the bonus marks that you can address at any time. If a tutor wants to give bonus marks, how do you do that?
Can I address it at the end? Dr.
Yeah,
Zubair
please do. Yeah,
okay.
Please do. Yeah.
Okay, so there we are. Now I'm going to show you how do you actually grade the forums. So I'm going to access the forum. So this is the discussion that has already been created. It's a discussion on an Indian movie that was recently released. So I just created a discussion forum. As an instructor, I started this discussion, and under this discussion, you can see my students have contributed. My first student is Raheel Robson, Shakir Gill is the second, and the third one is Suleiman Khairullah. So all of them have contributed to the forums. And in the gradebook, I did show you that Raheel Robson and Shakir Gill were graded because the ratings were selected for them. But for Suleiman Khairullah, the forum was blank under the gradebook because he wasn't assessed on it. So after reading this forum as an instructor, I can simply select and rate the students. Okay, just to revise and go back, remember when I was selecting a maximum grade while I was creating a forum, and I did insist to select a maximum grade as 5 rather than 100. This is the reason why I was recommending that. Because see, if I would have clicked on it with 100 maximum grade, it would have shown me a drop down starting from 0 until 100, which would have been a huge list for me. So for the sake of simplicity, what I did, I only allowed rating till 5. That is why, because the maximum grade is allowed until 5, that is why I'm getting this very brief drop down. Otherwise, I would have gotten a huge drop down. So let us say I want to rate it 5 for Suleiman Khairullah. So this is the maximum grade that the Suleiman can get in the forum. So he has got, effectively has got 100% in this forum. So I have done that. So now let's go and view the gradebook again and see what are the kind of implications that have happened in the gradebook. So Suleiman Khairullah is now rated for his assignment and is also rated for his forums as well. So he got full marks because I only created one discussion forum and one forum. So he got full marks in the overall forums. If he would have gotten, for example, 5 in this and 4 in another forum, because I have selected average of ratings, it would have created an average of 4.5 and put it here. Because it is only one forum, so it will simply give these marks of one forum over here as a total. Okay. Okay, so I'm basically done with my assessment. Do you have any questions in terms of assessment? After this, I will be actually going through how do we actually get the letter grades, which is most important for you to upload into Empower. And I will also be showing you the scales. How do you make sure that your scales are correct for letter grades? So any questions before I jump to that?
No, Shakir, not yet.
Okay, brilliant. So now the question is, see, when I view this gradebook, it doesn't make any sense to me. Well, it is not making any sense to me because it is only showing me the scores. It is going to do no good to me unless or until I'm able to at least view the percentages and the grades. So now I'm going to do that. We are going to convert this into percentages and grades. Now, the next question which might pop into your mind is, how do I ensure that my students are getting A on 93% and from 90 to under 93, they're getting A minus? Because see, according to the FCC's grading policies, these grades are defined. So where do I see, what do I do about that? Well, my answer to this question is, you don't do anything. We have done this for our faculty. See, if you go to these scales over here, sorry, go to the letters. I'm sorry about that. See, the letters are already defined. We have defined it for each and every course for the entire Moodle. That from 93 to 100, the letter grade is going to be A. Under 93 and from 90 onwards, it is going to be A minus. So your grading legend is already prepared. So you don't need to set it up for any course. And I would recommend not to edit the grade letters, because anytime if this legend is going to change, and we can actually edit it for you for the entire courses. So this is something that we can take care of. So the letter grades that you're going to see on the grade books computed at the end, these are incorporated according to the FCC policy at the moment. Okay. So now I'm going to show you how do I view the grades. So if I go to the setup of my gradebook, I can go to course grade settings over here. So under the course grade settings, what you need to do is you need to see the grade items, grade item settings here. Under the grade item settings, you can see that by default it is selected on a real default. Because it is selected on a real, it is only showing you the scores. It is not showing you the grade or the percentage. I'm going to change it to the letter grade and percentage. There we are. And only after changing that, I don't need to do anything else. I can simply save the changes. And here now the grades have started appearing with the percentages. And you can see that because the grade legend was already set, so Moodle is automatically determining what the grade the student should be getting on each activity and in the each category total, as well as in the course total. Okay, so this is how you can actually change and view the letter grades now with the percentage. Now the next thing is, how do we actually get these grades so that we can actually input the grades into Empower? Simply we need to go to export. Once we go to the export, we can select, for this we can select Excel spreadsheet, plain text file, whatever. So I'm going to select Excel spreadsheet. Right now, all the grade items are already selected by default over here. Well, if I'm grading my students on Empower, I don't need to view each and every item because I can view these on Moodle anyways. So what I can do is I can select some items. So I can have a quiz category total and unselect all the quizzes. I can unselect my assignments and can only have the assignment category total. And in the similar way, I can have my exams category total and not select the final exam and midterm. And then we can have our discussion or forums category total at the end, and then a course total. So only these totals are going to appear. Rather than getting the totals of each grading item exported, I'm only going to export their categories. So I'm just going to download that. Once and
show
I'm going
the
to
download. It will show. Please show the downloads.
I'm actually doing that. I don't want to forget that again.
Yeah.
Let me open the file. And
yeah, thank you.
Yes. The file is opening, and as soon as it opens, I'm going to share that. Share screen. Can you view the Excel sheet now?
Yes. Yes, we can.
Okay, so there we go.
So this is how it opens up.
Yeah, sorry, I made one mistake. I need to correct that. Sorry.
Please do. Please do.
I'm sorry. Sorry about that. Okay. So there we are. So this is where I selected my grading items and categories that I want to export. What I forgot to do, and I'm sorry about that, I don't want a real scores. I only want percentage and letters. So under the export format options, I'll select percentage and letters, and then I'm going to download. And I'm going to change my.
So you have to write that it is in letter, it is in percentages, both. And so that is, yeah, great.
Yeah, so
Format
Then,
options. Okay.
so I'm just going to share my screen again so that I can show you that on Excel. Yes, now you can see it.
Yeah.
See?
Yeah, great. Great.
It is showing
Yeah.
me total of my quizzes for each student and with the letters as well, letter grades as well. And even for the assignments as well. But the thing that I have to upload into my Moodle, that will appear at the end, that is the course total. Even if I just want to get these grades, that is even impossible. What I really need to do is, I simply need to, if I only have to get a course total, I simply need to uncheck all these categories over here. And if I just check course total, it will only give me the grade in front of the student with the percentage for the overall scores. So it entirely depends. It gives Moodle gives you the flexibility how you want to actually download the grade.
Yeah.
Yes.
So you are saying that to upload it into an Excel sheet for Empower, to export it to Empower, you only need the course total in a letter and a percentage form, right?
No, the thing is that I was about to cover that you cannot upload the grades on Empower at the moment. You cannot.
Okay.
But what
Okay.
you would, you have been
Okay.
doing before, that in the Excel you're getting all the grades and then you're individually adding the grades into Empower. You cannot upload the grades into Empower, but you can export the grades from Moodle.
What you are saying is that you make a spreadsheet showing the grades, and you yet would have to manually do it for each individual student, right? That's what you're saying?
Yes, for Empower, yes.
Yes.
If you have to.
Yeah, I understand. So
But
it can create the Excel sheet giving the final grades, but it cannot, you cannot paste it on Empower. Got it.
Yes, at the moment, no. Okay. So I think Ma'am Farheen had this query with regards to actually stopping the students from viewing the grades. Okay, so I'm just going to show that. Go to the setup again, to the same option, course grade settings. And let's see if we can change it over here. Hide for totals if they contain hidden items. Let me see. Default show, I can hide that. If I want to hide the grade, I can hide that. I want my students to see the feedback, so I'm just going to allow that. Show average, hide letter grades. Show ranges, I'm going to hide that as well. And default, only hidden, until, do not show, only hidden until. Show totals excluding hidden items, and I can hide that. So basically I can effectively hide every aspect of my grades as well. So I'm just going to log in as a student. I'm going to see my student role just to see what is the implication to it. Oh, sorry, I cannot, sorry about that. I would need to, let me see if I can, otherwise I would need to log in and log out. See, as a student, I cannot view my grades now. Can you see this?
Yeah.
I can hide the grades. So this is my report. My final exam, I don't know. Midterm, I don't know. So I can hide that.
I think that clarifies, but there's still two questions. Can Moodle make a bell curve final grade, and can we add extra mark to student scores as bonus marks? These two are left now. Excellent, Shaka. That's very well explained. Thank you.
Thank you, ma'am. So let us say that we have to add bonus marks to it, to this one. Let me see. Sorry, unfortunately, Unfortunately, I wasn't prepared for this, but I know you can assign the marks for this. So just give me a moment. I'll find it for you guys. I just trying my best.
Got a tip for you. Farheen seems to know a lot. She says that for bell curve, we need to change the grading legend.
Yes, obviously for the for that you need to do that, and I'll show you how you can do that as well. Yes, there we are. See if we let me go back and show you. I found it, Dr. Zubair. So let's say that quiz introduction to gradebook, we need to actually have extra marks. So I'm just going to click on edit settings, and then I'm going to click on extra credit.
Oh yes, perfect.
So I have, so can you see this? It is actually showing the maximum grade as 10, but with the plus, it means that it is not incorporating this 10 into total marks. It is only adding the 10. So the 25% of this 20% weightage is now bonus. Now this is for the activity, right? I can understand that this may not work for you because you may need to just give extra marks to the students. But this is if you want to create an activity into a bonus activity. Okay. So let me say, let us say that you want to simply add bonus marks into final exams. Okay. So in overall exams, now I'm going to add bonus marks. The first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to add a grade item. In the grade item, I'm going to say bonus marks. There we are. And the maximum grade, I can leave it on 100, and I can do it weight adjusted. Just a second. And I can place it under exams, and then I can select extra credit on it. So there we are. The more bonus marks have been entered. Now I have to provide a weightage of this bonus marks. So let us say that I'm going to give it 10% weightage, or let's say 5% weightage. Save changes. And see, another interesting thing, the weightages for the midterm and the final exam still remain at 60 and 40, and that is an extra 5 on top of that. Otherwise, if it wasn't selected as an extra credit, it would have adjusted the entire weightage, but it hasn't, because the 5% is going to be on top. So the 5% of the 50 is going to be 2.5. So 2.5 is going to be on top of what the students are going to attain in the category of exams. I hope, Dr. Zubair, this clarifies how do you give extra credit. I have shown 2 methodologies for that.
Yeah, I think it's quite clear.
Okay. So I'm actually done with my
presentation.
Yes, okay. I'm done with that. So if we have a general discussion or any questions, I can answer that.
Yeah, Sylvia asked, there are 2 questions. Sylvia says, what happens to the overall grade if the result goes above 100%? That's a good question.
It cannot go above 100%. I know why there is a confusion. I was confused the first time when I was exploring that as well. See, the max grade over here, if I look at the total, the course total is 245. Because it is a numeric number, it is not a percentage. This is something that confuses all the instructors. I was confused myself, and I must say I was very confused, and I was really annoyed when seeing this number, that why the course total is now not coming down to 100. This is because these are all the scores, right? The max grade are the numeric scores. These are not percentages. Everything that you're looking at the course is out of 100%. And I can show you how. See, let's first view the categories. Forget about the grading items. 20% quizzes plus 20% assignments plus 50% exams is 90%, and then 10% forum is equal to 100%. Now I will try to take it above 100% by putting 60% for exams. So my total percentage is going to be 110%. But you can see it will not happen. It will make things. Can you see this? My 20% has changed into 18.
Yes.
18.182%.
Yeah, the grade book has
And
adjusted
50.
the formula to fit into, 100 per. Yeah, that's true.
If I add all these grading categories together, these are looking so weird right now. But if I add these categories together, it will equate to 100%. It cannot go beyond 100%. So
Excellent.
basically, when you're looking at the course total, it is not percentage, it is the real marks. So if I have to go back, for example, this is a good exercise as well. If I have to go back and correct these, so I'm going to correct these now, back to the original ones, because I made a mistake, because this can happen to anyone. So I'm just going to show that I'm equating back. So now I'm going to add 20, 20, 40, 40, 50 is 90, 90 and 10 is 100. Now let us save changes. Can you see now? Now it is equating to 100% again, and it makes more sense. That is the way I created it in the first place.
Yeah, thank you. There's another question by Memuna, and hers is more like practice. She says, if I start playing with Moodle with my previous course, can I practice on that just to work on how it works? Can she practice on Moodle with my previous course?
Well, she has the access to it. Well, she has the access to it, and she can practice. But one thing that I want you to be very careful about is what students are going to view. Because see, if you keep on practicing, students can view the grades as well. So I would recommend, first of all, turning off all the grades and then do that. And second of all, I would also recommend that if you have done your grading on Moodle, not to do that on the previous course, because it can actually disrupt your record as well. So do it on the new course, because even if you delete things on the new course, or you can correct the things on new course, but in the old course, it can actually disrupt your previous grade. So it entirely depends. Ma'am Mamona, do you have access to the courses from 19 fall, perhaps? Do you have the access to that?
I think I have.
Do it on the 19 fall, but don't do it on 2020 spring, because 2020 spring we were heavily dependent on Moodle. So I would say do it on 19 fall, and then on the course grade report, hide everything, so the students can't view anything. So I think you will be better off at on 19 fall rather than doing on 2020 spring.
Yeah. And in 19 spring, I had, many activities where students, they were actually submitting their assignments through Moodle.
Yes.
So I think it should be better if I.
Okay, that's great. You can practice, and also when will you put up the summer semester courses for people to practice? Sylvia wants to know that. Shakir?
Yes, ma'am. Sorry, there was an interruption in between. Yes. Yes, ma'am.
And when will you be putting on the summer courses on Moodle?
Summer courses we're planning for next week.
Next week, great. Okay. So, you can work on those. Shakir, you are a very good trainer. Rehanna John, lots of practice is required, of course. Is there anything else that we need to ask, or have I left any question?
I think the one that I remembered, I have answered that, but I may have left something. So if we can just look at the chats, perhaps.
Yeah, I have looked at the chat, and I don't think there's any questions left. I think we have covered them all. So I have just sent a message to everybody, since we have exceeded our time of 1 hour that we put up for this webinar, and we are nearly going to 140 minutes now. So we will count it as 2 hours of professional development for your certificates, and of course, another hour for your pre-preparation and your feedback to us. I really thank you all as you realize that our module, webinar is a part of the module, and your professional development hours are counted for the webinar duration, which is now seems to exceed more than the time that we had initially set up. And also we are giving you an additional hour for your feedback and pre-preparation, response to the pre-preparation form. And we hope that, because that makes sure that we target your needs regarding the topic that we are conducting. And this was in response to a feedback that we got in the spring, for the spring webinars, that if your needs were more, if you could align the webinars to your needs at the time. And that was a very good suggestion, and we have incorporated it in these webinars. So thank you, everybody. Kausar Abdullah, I see you there pondering over so much information and a bit perplexed. So am I. But there is Sufyan and Rehan, as always, is there. Thank you so much. And there's a lot of you that have still stayed on to the end. We went on to, I think, 58, and now we are 51. So you have all stayed on, and if there are any other comments or concerns, please do let us know. If you want another session, we could do that. Kausar, you are saying something. Why don't you unmute? Unmute yourself, please.
And ma'am, there is a question by Ms. Sabah Iqbal in the chat.
Ji Sabah, why don't you ask it yourself? Where are you?
Okay, can I only want to, it was very interesting. But what is the relationship to Empower, you see, because we use Excel, and we are very much accustomed to it. We do everything. I mean, all you have told us on Moodle is also very similar, and actually it is exactly the same as for Excel sheets, and Excel sheets, and we do all the grading and uploading into Empower.
Yeah.
And what will be the connection now with the Moodle with Empower?
Yeah, the problem is, like we have been saying all along, that you can create your final grades and Excel sheets in Moodle of all the documents or all the assignments that have even been done outside Moodle, but you still would have to manually put the same into Empower. You cannot automatically import them or export them to from Moodle to Empower. That's the catch. At the end of the day, you're still doing double the work. So I think that is a area where Shakir and the expertise doesn't, I think there is no way to connect the two. There's no integration between the two. Shakir, you can't put in a plugin to do that?
No, basically in terms of technical aspects, in terms of our capability, we can do it, but there are certain licensing issue with the with softwares that can cause problem. So secondly, the thing that I want to add to it is that I know that it would have been the best thing if you don't need to actually add the grades on Empower and it would be imported into Empower from Moodle. But still with the gradebook, you get to save a lot of time, because see, with the Excel, you are actually continuously doing the calculations yourself. And if you make mistake in one calculation, you would need to redo the entire grading on Excel sheet. But what Moodle does is, it does everything for you. You just need to define the criteria. That's the best thing about it. Just imagine that you have to conduct all the quizzes and then add those marks into the Excel sheet and then select a weightage and create a formula on Excel sheet in order to properly create the grade at the end. And then you incorporate the grading legend as well in order to determine what is A, what is B, what is C. So all of this thing is already done on Moodle. And once you set the gradebook at the beginning of the semester, you're just creating the activities. All the rest is done by Moodle. If you're doing it outside the Moodle, you're assessing, you are marking, and then after marking, you're adding the scores to Excel and then doing all the calculations.
Yeah, that's
So,
understood, Shakir. It
Hold
was
on,
clear.
hold on. All these things are also done
Yes.
on the Excel sheet, you see, and you know, automatically it gives us A, B, C, D, and everything. All the grades are shown, you see. You know, so I mean, it's just the same. And but most important thing is, what will the administration or the academic department will accept? You see, I mean, because they are all here to empower. They don't do anything.
Yeah. So Shakir, the point is that he's a good point. Kausar makes a very valid point that if the Excel sheet does all that we are able to do on the grade book independently, then, and we still have to put the values in Empower, then what is the value of a grade book? And that's a very, very valid question.
Okay, so Dr. Kausar, I would further look into it and find a workaround by which we can actually get into Empower rather than, you know, instructors inputting each and every grade into Empower, but there would be certain level of manual work that still will be required. But I would try to find a way, but if we can do it a batch upload thing or something like that.
Okay.
Rather than inputting each and every grade.
Yeah, but Farheen has made a very good point. Moodle keeps privacy of grades intact, and it also helps students keep a track of their progress, which probably wouldn't happen in independent Excel sheet that you use for grading. And I think that's a very good point. Gradebooks does all the grading calculation for the enrolled students, giving them a view of their performance through the semester. And that's Waqar, that's the same thing as Farheen said. And I agree. Kausar, does that satisfy you?
No, there I agree. You see, you know, the advantages with Moodle, etc., etc. You see, but we have to educate our academic section. You know, how are they going to use Moodle for their reading and uploading? Because Empower has got everything now. Empower has got all the, you know, grade change forms are there. You know, all other things are there. So how are we going to, you know, merge the two now? You see, you know, this is very important.
Okay, Shakir, make a note of that perhaps there's some sort of plugin that could make it more fluid to move between the two systems. And I think that's a valid point. We don't...
It is unfortunate it is not going to be a plugin, but I'm going to find a batch upload thing that would that can help the instructors. So I'm going to find that, but unfortunately it can't.
Okay, Kausar, we'll have to do that for now, but there's one more question that we did not handle, and I think it was I don't remember who put up Sabah. Sabah put a question: can we make the students list in the same sequence as that of Empower while grading on Moodle? How do you?
Well, when you're viewing your class list on Moodle and on Empower, there is a provision of sorting out the students according to their first name or any other criteria. But unfortunately, when you're exporting it from Moodle, it does not provide you any sorting option. So I would say no, unfortunately. But one thing that what you can do is when you actually export from Moodle, and let me see that for you. Let me share a screen. Let's find a solution right now. It will just take me a couple of minutes.
Why not?
Okay, so here I can see. Yeah, just a second. I can see how.
How does Empower sequence the names?
I can see that I'm sorted over here according to the first. It can be first name or the last name.
No, it is by the last name because Raheel should come before.
It can sequence with the first name and the surname. So if you actually get a sequence of Empower with the surname, for example, you can select this column you can select your Excel sheet and then click on data and sort. And you can, sorry, rather than doing this, let's do another thing. Select these headers, the entire row of headers, and then sort. Sorry, it's not showing me headers.
Shakir, just sort, and on top of it, it says my selection has headers. Select everything. Cancel this, select everything. Data,
where
sort, sort.
Select everything, yes. Yes, sort.
Yes, sort.
Add a level.
No, on top of it, it says my data has headers.
My data has headers. So just sort by surname. Yeah, I selected that, sir. So I'm just going to select and sort it by surname.
You have to specify the second row also.
Yes, doing this surname from A to Z. So I have actually sorted this data on the surname. So when I'm extracting the data from Empower, I can again sort it out from the surname, and it will be exactly the same sequence on Moodle extract and on the Empower extract as well. Does this answer your question, ma'am?
Sabah? I guess so.
Ma'am Sabah, can?
Yes, she says thank you so much. So I guess that's it. You did a great job, Shakir. I could not imagine a more interactive session on Zoom. I think it went very well, very understandable, very clear. I must thank you for doing a great job. And I thank all of you for being here to the very end. It took us 2 hours instead of 1. And see you again next time, which will be, I think, July 16th.